guys, it's Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Mangatube Tag, which is a tag that was created by Christy Lou that is essentially designed for getting to know the Mangatube community. I thought this was a really fun idea, mainly because I know I'm not the only person who does Mangatube stuff but isn't primarily a manga tuber. So I was tagged to do this tag by Christy Lou, and I thought that this would be a really fun opportunity to be able to kind of share with you guys or share with just people in general who might not find my channel because I do primarily books. It might be a good way to help them find me and possibly through me help them also find some other manga tubers or people who talk about manga on their channels at all, help them find those people. I feel like that was really long-winded and not very cohesive, but I feel like you guys got the gist of what I was trying to say. So let's just dive right into the questions. The first one is introduce yourself. So this is something that I don't like to do. It feels weird, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's a question, and I feel like the majority of people who might stumble on this video have no idea who I am. So I'm gonna give you guys some basics. My name is Whitney. I like books, just in general. Doesn't have to be manga, it can be comics, it can be novels. Is there anything else besides that? I don't really read textbooks or anything, so I read a little bit of everything. I feel like I am also on the older end of the spectrum on the book community. I'm not sure about the manga community. I'm 28 and I'm from Louisiana, which for those of you who may not know, who might not be from the United States, that is a state in the United States. I'm really repetitive today, I apologize. The second question is, when did you start reading manga? That's a hard one for me because honestly, I can't even remember. I remember the first things that I read, the first way that I read manga, because I used to get the Shonen Jump, like the magazines, and I want to say I was probably in 6th or 7th grade, and I feel like that was really my first exposure to manga. Yeah, it definitely had to be junior high, because I remember there used to be a bookstore in our mall that sold manga, and a friend of mine and I went into this bookstore and we ended up getting a volume of manga that I remember specifically. It's actually right here. It's called Bizengas. This is not the original manga because my friend is the one who purchased the manga, so the volume belonged to her. This is just one that I got because I was interested in rereading that one because I read it when I was younger. Another one that I remember a friend of mine making me read was Loveless, which ended up being sort of a nostalgic, problematic favorite of mine that I still have. But other than that, I don't think I read all that much manga until I was a bit older. The third question is, what is your favorite genre? So I don't know. I tend to read a lot of shoujo, mainly because a lot of the people that I follow on Mangatube recommend a lot of shoujo, but I don't even know if this question means like shoujo or shonen or seinen or josei. I have no idea if that is what they mean by genre, so I'm gonna take the easy way out and say that that is not what they mean. So I typically lean toward reading more fantasy-centered stuff. Paranormal and supernatural things as well are sort of in my wheelhouse. I do read my fair share of more contemporary slice of lifestyle things because, like I said, I do read a lot of shoujo because that tends to be what's recommended, and a lot of those recommendations tend to be more contemporary slice of life focused. But then I end up liking things like March Story, which is more of a horror kind of deal. It's very dark, so I feel like I'll just try anything. I don't like to restrict myself there, and I don't find that I dislike something just because of its genre, which I guess is good for me because that means there's more for me to read, more for me to enjoy. The fourth question is, how do you read manga? And this is like, do you read it physically? Do you get it from the library? Do you read it digitally? All that kind of stuff. So for the most part, I read manga physically, but I have read manga digitally. And honestly, I don't mind it. The reading experience that I had with really the only thing I've ever read digitally manga-wise, it was a good experience. And I think that that has to do a lot with the sort of devices that I have, the things that I'm able to read on. I don't think I would have had as good an experience if I had had to read it on a desktop computer because I just don't like the way that the pages are structured that way. But I read it on a tablet, and I feel like an e-reader would be just as good. Like an actual like a Kindle Paperwhite or a Nook, something that doesn't have you know, that bright screen that can hurt your eyes. So yeah, I'll read it physically and I'll read it digitally. The only reason I don't borrow more manga is because I don't really have access to that avenue. My library keeps some manga, but half of it is like a continuation of a series or something that I've already read or very, very old, which I like to dabble in a lot of the older titles, but sometimes I just want to read that thing that just came out. The fifth question is, what is your favorite manga? And this, I swear, is like one of those questions like, what is your favorite book? Or who's your favorite pet? I don't know. So I don't feel like I have just an absolute favorite right now. I feel like I'm just diving back into manga heavily enough that I'm still kind of searching for my all-time. Originally, I probably would have told you that it was Loveless, but like I've said, that one is a seriously problematic favorite of mine, and I would not ever recommend that to anyone to read. But recently I stumbled on a manga that I just touched on previously that is a horror manga called March Story that I really liked. I don't feel like it was a perfect manga by any means. I feel like the ending of the series, since it's only 5 volumes, was fairly rushed, and I wish that it would have went on longer, but those characters just sort of like grabbed me and wouldn't let go, and they tugged at my heartstrings, and I was so attached to them. So I feel like if I had to pick a favorite right now, it would probably be March Story. But I also am really into Daytime Shooting Star, which is an ongoing shoujo manga. And there are a couple of other ones that have a few volumes out that I feel like are gonna be possible favorites, possible ones that I just really, really value. But with only a few volumes out, I just don't feel comfortable making that judgment call right now. And I'm sure as time goes on, I'll find more and more manga that I really enjoy and that I consider favorite, and I'm sure one day I will find that all-time favorite. The sixth question is, what type of videos do you make? So, manga-wise, I make the typical manga hauls, and I haven't done any reviews yet because I'm not sure how to structure a manga review. So right now it's just hauls, and I've done a vlog. But there are some video types that I want to start doing. I want to do more recommendations, more videos that showcase specific types of manga that are like up there for me. So like say top 5 shoujo or top 5 seinen, or like a beginner's guide to manga, because apparently I actually know more about manga than I thought I did, and I have more recommendations to give to people than I thought I did. I was picking up a new volume of manga that just came out in the series that I'm reading at Barnes & Noble, and I happened to run into this girl who essentially, she asked me for help, and she apparently wanted to get into manga, but she just didn't know where to start. So I was able to set her up with some good manga that kind of suited her taste. She ended up, if you're curious, she ended up with the Ancient Magus Bride Volume 1 and also Prince Freya Volume 1, which I can't reach, it's way down there. Because she was very into YA fantasy, I sort of just pointed out some titles that I thought maybe would fit the bill for her, because she said she wasn't very into like that cutesy thing, which when it comes to actual novels, I'm not really that into it either, so we'll see where that goes. I don't know if I'll ever see her again, but it was a fun time and an interesting experience for me. Outside of my manga content, I also do like regular book videos where I like to do hauls, and I do tags, and I do reviews on occasion, and I just like to talk about the books that I like, that I'm reading. I do a TBR game at the beginning of every month, which is a lot of fun. I have plans to start incorporating video game videos, so I have a Let's Play planned that should be going up. Those videos aren't going to be as frequent as just my book and manga videos, but I want to start just letting myself incorporate anything nerdy, anything me that I like and that I feel like filming. So, you know, there might be journal videos, there might be craft videos, there are video game videos, there are other nerdy things in general, maybe a video about Studio Ghibli here and there, or I like to make custom Funko Pops, so maybe there will be videos about me making custom Funko Pops, or me showing you the custom Funko Pops that I make. They're typically bookish Funko Pops. But oh my god, I feel like I've been talking forever about this one topic, so I'm just gonna move on. The seventh question is, what do you hope that people will get out of your channel? Honestly, I hope that they find a community that they can participate in. Which sounds weird because they're my videos and I'm not a community, but I want the people who engage with my content to be their own community. I would love to see everyone just engage with one another in the comments or even on Twitter, but also I would like to see them be able to find some new manga recs for series maybe they would have never found out about otherwise, or that they wouldn't have picked up. There's nothing really specific. I just want people to be able to come to this channel and know they're gonna have a good time, or they're gonna find some valuable information, or at least entertaining content to some degree. The 8th question is, what other hobbies do you have outside of BookTube? So I feel like the pretty obvious ones that I've probably even mentioned already in this video are that I like to read like regular books, which is probably really apparent from just my other video thumbnails and things like that. I also really like to play video games. I don't play them as frequently as I used to, but I really like to do it. Right now I'm really into Switch games because it's just a really great platform and there's a lot of variety. I also like to play around with photography and videography and things like that. I'm not great at videography or photography, but it's fun to dabble, and that's what a hobby is you have fun doing it, and I have fun playing with different things for photography and videography. Sound, on the other hand, drives me up a wall because I can't seem to get it. I also do a lot of crafting, or I do it a lot less now than I used to, but I like to craft, and crafting also includes journaling for me. So journaling and crafting, I make like vinyl t-shirts. Now they have the infusible ink, which is really cool. So I do that, and I do t-shirts and bags, and I've dabbled in jewelry. So I do hand stamping. I don't like traditional jewelry, and I think hand stamping is a really unique sort of jewelry rather than like engraving or something. It's more personal because each letter is like stamped individually. It's also great stress relief because you get to hit things with a hammer. And one of the other things that I really like to do, and it's one of the only social things that I like to do, is I play D&D with a group of friends. That's D&D interchangeably with Pathfinder. They're pretty similar, but our DM has more experience with Pathfinder, so typically we do Pathfinder, but I have another friend who also is okay DMing, and they typically do the D&D side. So, they're interchangeable, even though they're like different. I don't know if that makes any sense. The 9th question is, what is next up on your to-read list? I don't have something specific picked out. Just any of the unread things on my shelf. Actually, I might pick this one up. This is volume 2 of The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of a Quiet City Life. This is one I just picked up on a whim, volume 1, and I ended up really liking it. And the second one just came out, and I got it. But there's a lot of just stuff on my shelf that I haven't read. Like, I haven't read volume 4 of The Ancient Magus Bride. I haven't read Beastars volume 1. I haven't read The Case Study of Vanitas. I haven't read Children of the Whale, Cosmo Familia. There's just a lot. So like, I have a lot to pick from, but I don't have anything picked out specifically right now. The 10th question is, what are you looking for in other manga channels? Honestly, I am just looking for good recommendations and potential friendships. It's pretty simple. That's what I'm here for. I want to read good books and I want to meet good people. So the last order of business here is that I should tag some people, even though like this tag is meant to help you find new people. But I do know a couple of people right off the top of my head, literally a couple, just 2. There are more, but there are 2 that are right on the top of my head. So I'm gonna tag Ashley Outpaged and Dynamic Dylan. I don't know if they'll ever do this tag. I don't know if they'll ever see this video, but I highly suggest that you go check out both of their channels. Ashley talks about books and manga. I think Dylan just does more of the BL spectrum of manga. So if those sound interesting to you, I would definitely recommend going and giving them a look. But that is it for the Mangatube tag. If you talk about manga on your channel, feel free to do this tag. You're tagged, I tag you. If you liked this video, don't forget to go down there and click that like button for me, and possibly, potentially, maybe, if you like the content enough, consider subscribing. I will see you guys next time.